At Tim Smith Spirits, we've been doing what we love for generations. Even when forced to do it on the wrong side of the law, we've never stopped. It's in our roots, engraved in our soul. It's our family story. Recipes crafted mountain deep, in the light of the moon, shared down by word of mouth, generation to generation. Making booze on the edge of legality, living true to our rebel heart, driven by our defiant spirit, and rooted in our renegade urge to bring the world the real taste and kick. So break the rules a little, let go, and enjoy this moment with a drink of unpredictable and a taste of unexpected. Tim Smith Spirits and Climax Moonshine. Drink Defiance.
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me live tonight in the Bourbon Life Studios, we've got the entire Bourbon Life crew. What's up, guys?
What is going on?
What's up?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Mark, you doing okay?
Yeah, man, doing good, doing really good, man. I'm glad to have everybody. And Philip is actually here. This is what you know.
I know.
Oh, hold on. Now, last time I was here and Chad was.
That's right. Chad was doing that retail thing, man. Yep. So he was not able to join us. So I guess I really can't give Philip a hard time because he was here for the Christmas extravaganza.
That's right.
Yeah, we've got perfect attendance tonight on TBLPC FOTR.
I don't even know what.
FOTR. Come on, man.
The flights of the round.
Yeah.
There you
Bourbon
go.
Life Podcast, Flights of the Round.
Yeah. Well, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Tim Smith Spirits. So I need to say that, right? And we have to thank all of our sponsors because we appreciate everything that they do for us. Guys, it's February, man. It's new month. It's no longer dry January. So we can knock the socks off of that.
Never was for me.
Oh, man. So what about Matt, you did it. You always do it. See, Matt was the one that inspired me really to do it because he's done it the last 2 years that I know for sure.
Yeah, I have. I haven't even drank yet. It's the 8th
You've
of
not?
February. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't had anything to drink yet.
So. All right. Well, we're gonna give you some good stuff here tonight. Philip, you didn't do. Did you try January?
No.
I didn't think you didn't know. No.
I was just harassing you on Facebook.
I appreciate that, man. I deserve it. No doubt about it. So, well, we got some good stuff that we're going to be drinking tonight, I think anyway. So, Matt, tell everybody what we got poured up. I mean, I know nobody really knows much about this one, so.
Yeah, so it's going to be a pretty typical show because nobody really knows what we're talking about. Nobody really knows anything about what we're drinking.
Yeah.
But
those are the funnest. Look, Chad's going to break it out, man.
Don't expect to be well informed on this episode. But we've got poured up the 13th Colony Distillery's Southern Rye Whiskey. This is handcrafted in oak barrels in small batches. This Southern Classic is distilled in small batches with a distinctly spicy flavor, giving it a slightly sweet finish. It's coming in at 95 proof. And nice. It's got quite a nice bottle.
Yeah, it is a really unique bottle shape. And bourbon, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that Old Forester birthday bourbon bottle.
It is. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was going to say.
Very close to that.
I knew it looked like something familiar, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But yeah, you're right. It does have that little fat, squatty, like Willet Pot Still. Okay, maybe. maybe not Willet Pot Still, right?
Yeah, so this is straight out of Georgia, produced and bottled by 13th Colony Distilleries, Americus, Georgia. And this is their rye whiskey, Southern Rye.
And if you want some facts on it,
yes,
on their
Chad.
website.
Awesome.
It is a 96% rye, 4% malted barley, natural water sourced from Georgia's oldest aquifer, aged in new charred oak barrels with custom toasted French oak wood spirals, and aged at least 4+ years.
Huh. And this is it's their juice.
Their juice.
Yeah. So not sourced straight out of Georgia. When I think of Georgia, I don't think of a natural limestone aquifer. I think you're kind of getting on that border of the Florida swamps.
Maybe it's in northern Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. America's Georgia.
Yeah. It's not that.
I have no idea where that even is.
Not that southern Everglade, Georgia water.
It's not that Florida, Georgia line water,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys picking up
Oh,
on?
that's interesting. Actually, on the bottle, it doesn't say distilled. It just says produced and bottled by.
Let's see. Does there bourbon? Oh yeah. That is weird because produced kind of
Leaves that open.
Very vague,
yeah.
gray area.
Is it actually distilled there or not? And see, I didn't get any information. I think it seems like they reached out to me on Instagram and just, asked if they could send us some stuff. And I'm like, sure. I mean, I'm never going to turn down the offer for some free whiskey. So yeah, I honestly don't know much about them at all. And I just left them sitting out. So when you guys came over, I was like, you guys want to try it? So here we are. So what are you guys picking up on the nose? Matt, I feel like it's been so long since I've had the opportunity because you were sick
I know.
we did the Luca Mariana.
I was sick as all get out.
Yeah, man.
Good Lord. I was bedridden.
I should have said that at the very beginning. I'm so glad you're back.
Matt, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that, guys.
And then I traveled down to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, you
and
did show on the road.
did the King's Family Distillery show with Justin and Cara King, which was fun, but it was awkward, because when Matt's not there, I'm like, hey, Matt, wait a second. What do you guys pick up on the nose? What do you guys pick up? And Matt's always there to throw in a question. It's always a good question. So it is awkward when I fly solo. So that's 2 in a row, man. So I am happy to have you back. So Matt, what do you pick up on the nose on this one?
I'll be happy to lead off. I really like the nose so far at this. I get some good graham cracker, some good spice with it, but it's also got like some marshmallow or like a creaminess, and there's some subtle fruit and there's some berry.
Yeah.
Some raspberry, some strawberry in it as well. It's got a really inviting nose. I'm really pleased with it.
It's very sweet for 96%
96% rye.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that as well, especially considering you're only 1% off of a 95.5 that we're all so familiar with
That burns your face or melts your nose or
smells so completely different.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah. What about you, Philip? What do you get, man?
I get a lot of the red fruits. It's very pleasant and very sweet. I would have never guessed it was 95.5.
96.
Or
96.4, yeah.
96.4.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, it's a delicious nose.
Chad, what about you, man?
I concur with Matt on a lot of that fruit and sweetness. I pick up a little mint and just a little like earthy grain showing through. But man, like the graham cracker, I get a little bit of toasted oak, which might be that French oak spire showing through. But I mean, it's a fruity rye. This does not read like a 96.4.
Not at all. So when you were reading that, Chad, it said they're French oak spirals.
French oak spirals aged in the barrel.
In
with
the
the
barrels.
whiskey. Yeah.
Okay. So like the Oak and Eden bottles that have the little spirals that are just toasted or whatever put into each individual bottle. These actually have spires put in sounds like in the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay. But we just know it's 4 years old, right? At
least.
At least 4 years old.
No age statement on
Got
the
a nice
bottle.
color to it.
From Georgia. It does.
It does have for 95 proof too.
It does. And it clings well. Does it say non-chill
It
filtered?
doesn't say anywhere on there about any filtration.
It didn't say on the website either, at least not that I've seen.
And I would just say, judging by the fact that it's clinging like this, I don't know. What do you think? Non-chill filtered, probably
I'd
oils,
It's a safe bet.
Yeah.
because there's a lot of oiliness there and things. So good, yeah. So for me on the nose, I'm surprised at how sweet it is. No doubt about it. For a 96.4 rye, I would not have expected that mash bill. Chad, you can't jump into the flavor yet, man. You're making some faces, so I'm just gonna.
I had to.
I'm gonna wait. We gotta wait for that, man.
Does
So
anybody else kind of smell like, this is going to sound really weird, but bubblicious grape bubblegum?
oh yeah, I can see the bubble gummy,
The grape, though.
the grape.
Yeah.
See now I'm starting to pick up that
It's
artificially.
like the
yeah.
bubble gum that came in like the long bricks and they're little,
They had powder all over them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
but
man.
it smells like the grape.
The grape.
So you said that. Now I'm thinking of the double bubble.
I was thinking Big League Chew.
Okay.
They all those grapes are kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
it's I hate to say artificial grape, but I mean it is obviously.
It is.
grape flavoring
Yeah.
in a bubble gum.
No
but
grape actually tastes like that. But we love it.
we do, man. And I could see, and now you said that, Matt, definitely see that sweetness coming through like that. But yeah, really surprising on the nose so far. We're not gonna talk about the taste, guys. So let's talk about some just stuff that's going on in the whiskey world, man. So, I'm not a big secondary guy. I don't buy on the secondary. I don't sell on the secondary.
Hate it.
It's not, well, I'm not going to even go that far. I'm just going to say there are times it drives me nuts, and there are times where I'm just like, hey, man, if that's your jam, then, that's your jam, because it happens. And people that are trading bottles, that's cool. People that go out and just buy a bottle to sell a bottle and make a bunch of money, okay, I do have a little bit of an issue with that. But regardless, man, recently the Russell's Reserve, and we've tasted that, right? Did we do that on the show? Did you bring that, or did you we haven't done 13.
No.
Where did I taste
we've
that?
not
Did
done
you
it.
have a bottle of it, Chad?
I do have a bottle of it. Did I give you some of it?
Seems like you let me.
I've never had it.
Well, I know what I'm bringing next time.
I could have sworn I've had it somewhere before, man. But I don't have a bottle of it. But like last week or week before, that like went nuts, right?
Yeah.
On secondary.
It was hovering right around like 400, 450, like upon release anyway, which is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
What does it retail at?
70 or $80.
Yeah.
Or it's a cask strength. It's a 50-50 blend of 13 and 19-year-old wild turkey. So 114 proof.
There you go. So you get that 19-year-old that was in that, and that was the first release of that 13, right? So,
Right.
Yeah. So people just all of a sudden, well, I think part of the problem, part of the issue was Fred did his top 100 whiskeys, right? And then did his taste off, and then Russell's Reserve ends up in a blind, I guess. I didn't watch it, but I guess he picked that as the number one whiskey. I guess it was the best whiskey in the world in
his top whiskey.
2021, right?
Yeah.
The Henry McKenna effect.
That's exactly what I was thinking today. I was like, well, yep, Henry McKenna.
Well,
There
it's
you
not
go.
really the Henry McKenna effect, because that was one you could find. Now, I traded to get a bottle of my Russell's 13, which I think I came out really good. I traded it like a OBSF or something, 4 Roses store pick from Kroger.
Yeah.
So
You done all right.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I thought so.
Well, and considering it, because that actually got up to like close to $1,000, didn't it? Did you guys see that, or am I making that up?
The other day, someone screenshotted a post on Facebook, shared on Instagram, and someone asked for $850, and then or like 10 bottles of BTAC for trade.
Wow.
So
That's kind of crazy, man. I mean, kind of crazy that and it was good. And I can't remember where I had the pour of it, but it was good. I mean, but goodness gracious, man, that's kind of insane.
The secondary market has really came alive in the last like 2 months again.
Has
Like I feel like it's like it used to be.
Really?
I mean, like Facebook's not shutting groups down, and
but it's at the price of a used Corolla now.
yeah, oh yeah,
So I mean, you could
It's
go out and get
insane.
a 2006 Corolla, or you can get a Russell's 13. So.
it's insane. It was the same thing with the 4 Roses special release from the gift shop.
Yeah. What that started at like $2,000
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
And then the next day, it was going for like half of it.
It's like $800 the next.
Yeah, because they released like 15,000, like some
Yeah.
insane amount of like 20 barrels.
They
of
did like
it.
20 barrels, and people were like, "There's not very many of them." And then I think somewhere along, I mean,
But there were fluctuation in the proofs on that one too, right?
they were all the same recipe, but
Right.
they were all
Different proof levels.
different, single barrels. The proof level was varied, but not much. Most
Yeah.
of them were like tier 1 or 2, I believe.
Gotcha.
I think
Okay.
that matters
All right.
to people.
Yeah, but that's just crazy, man. How the secondary's done that again. But that could be it, Philip. That because Facebook, they really got, what was it, LBC or whatever, the one in Louisville.
Yeah.
There was that huge group that was trading,
Yeah,
and there was like 50-some thousand
It was big.
members of that one, I think, and Facebook was like, shut it
Yeah.
down.
There's definitely some groups coming back.
Yeah, it seems like it. But I saw that and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, man. I mean, that's for a person like me. I mean, I like to buy and I like to drink. Honestly, I don't even trade that much. But if somebody needs a bottle or whatever, like Philip, tonight you've got a coworker,
through for me.
you've got a friend or a cousin, right?
Yeah, it's my cousin
down in
in
Florida, right? You're gonna go visit.
Yeah,
Wanted
he'll be
Blanton's.
listening. So
Yeah, so he wanted Blanton's, right? So it's like, I have extra bottles, and that's the thing I'll do sometimes is I will buy extra bottles of products like that I can keep, and when I know somebody wants a bottle or needs a bottle, that I can help them out. And that's, I don't see a problem with that. But man, holding a bottle just to sell it for $1,000, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, right?
I don't know if the opportunity exists.
I know. Yeah, but I know.
I mean, that's
be the devil's advocate, Matt.
Yeah.
Just come in and be the devil's advocate, man.
It is tempting. I mean, when you like, I've got bottles that are unopened, and I'm seeing these prices. I'm like, do I really want to open that bottle? But I'm like, no, I don't want to get rid of that.
Well, it was like, Matt, the Amaranth, the Grain of the Gods that we got, bought it for what was it, $80, $82, something like that. Mm-hmm. And that went up to what, $1,000 or $1,200 or something insane.
It was insane. Yeah.
Like that. And that George Stagg that I got, my friend picked it up for $150 for me last year, and it jumped up to $1,000 or whatever. And I'm looking at a bottle that's got maybe a third of it and left in it. And I'm like, The
thing is, like with that release, that's where I met you and Matt, and I ended up not getting a bottle, but I got the 1792 12-year age the first year they released it.
Right.
After tasting both of them, I am glad I got what I got.
That Grain of the Gods, yeah, it's it was not anything worth. Well, I mean, I think I waited 36 hours in line for it, so
long time.
It was a long time, and I would say it was not worth the effort to do that. But
I was probably that guy who showed up that day after everyone got inside and was like, what the hell is everyone lining up? I've only done one lineup at Liquor Barn, and I got there at 6 a.m. when they opened at 9 for a Weller 4-proof, and I was like 15th in line. They put 12 out. So.
Oh, man.
I was 9th, and they had 6 bottles.
I think Matt and I were number 1 and 2. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. So, guys, let's talk about the taste on this. What's this called? Southern? I forgot the name of what the
13 Colonies Southern Rye Whiskey.
13th Colony Distillery's Southern Rye Whiskey.
Southern Rye Whiskey. So the name is actually Southern Rye Whiskey. I mean, that's just the name on the label. So it's 13th Colony. So interesting. What do you guys think in terms of the taste? Chad, I'm going to go to you because when we were talking, we were nosing it and you took a taste and I could see in your eyes, your face, something was either really, really off or something was impressive. So which one was it?
It was impressive. Not saying I had low expectations for this whenever I tasted it, but I thought 96% rye, and with French oak staves, French oak has a lot of tight grain, so it offers a lot of spice. So I expected it just, like thinking 95 proof. They probably proofed it down because it's too hot.
Right.
But no, it's just as sweet as the nose. It's fruity, a lot of dessert qualities in there. It's kind of balanced cinnamon sugar, a little bit of strawberry, a lot of honey, a little tobacco. I mean, it's a damn good rye whiskey.
Yeah. Philip, what about you, man?
I'm almost the complete opposite. I get a lot of mint. I get a lot of cinnamon, and the finish just falls completely flat for me.
Does it really?
Yeah. It doesn't linger very long. And from what I got on the nose, it was like right in my wheelhouse to the taste.
To the taste?
It's just, I mean, it's good, but it's not, it doesn't match up to the nose for me.
I gotcha. Matt, you're kind of shaking your head over there when Philip was talking. So was that a shaking
head? Are you team Philip or team Chad?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Come on here.
Yeah, which one is it? Which one is it, Matt?
It's really sweet, first and foremost. I get a lot of honey. I get like a caramelized honey, really sweet on the front of the palate. And I'm going to go ahead and probably agree with both of you on this one. I really like the sweet qualities to it.
Yeah.
It's got like that little bit of berries coming through. There's a little bit of mint, but the finish definitely just falls flat. And to be honest, I could use a little more. I could use some spice. I think it's a little one note, maybe a little too sweet.
Gotcha.
I could use some rye. Like
okay.
give me some peppercorn, give me some spice, give me some baking heat in
Sounds
there
like
or something.
Philip, not both of us.
No, but I really appreciate the sweetness and the drinkability of it.
So he's teams 2/3 Philip, 1/3 Chad.
I think I'd seen that the price on this was like $35. So
is it really?
Yeah, I think it said 35 on their website. So
okay.
I'd be in at that for 35.
Yeah, but okay. So I will agree that the finish doesn't linger. I get that sweetness, and I like those ryes where you get some sweetness, but then you get that spiciness that follows up and lingers on your palate for a while. And this one doesn't do that for me. Mm-hmm.
So this is also the first thing in 8 days I've had that's not Blanton's.
Yeah, yeah. Tell everybody, just so everybody understands. Tell everybody what you're doing, man.
So I'm doing 28 days of Blanton's because people do dry January, and I figured, well, Mashable 2, month 2, it was just basically like to troll people, because there's people who are like, you should drink everything, drink all your bottles, don't open the bottle. And so I'm making cocktails with Blantons, I'm drinking it over ice, it's all I'm drinking at home.
That's awesome.
It's just for fun.
You shouldn't have waited until you should have done like 31 days of Blanuary.
No. Oh, nice. Blanuary.
I think 28 days is all I can handle.
You picked the shortest month. Thank God it wasn't a leap year, right?
Oh, God.
So you guys got to follow Chad on Instagram at My Daily Bourbon and keep up with him through his 28 days. But yeah, I agree, guys. But if it's $35, I'm buying this, I think it would be worthwhile. But man, I do agree. Falls short a little bit on that rye spiciness.
Mm-hmm. It'd almost be like a decent after dinner.
Yeah, a sipper.
It's like so sweet and doesn't burn you up afterward.
Really good cocktail rye too.
Do you think it's those French oak staves? Do you think that's lending to more a sweeter profile? But you said it usually makes it a little spicier,
right?
Right?
So usually, your Maker's 46,
yeah,
where it adds like that black tea, adds a lot more baking spice. I just had a lot different expectation. Like I expected it to just be like a punch of heat,
right,
or just spice,
right?
But it's very sweet on the palate.
It is sweet, and the more I drink it, it's like sugar. It honestly is like the honey, brown sugar, just like a big combo of sweetness that's kind of like almost makes you pucker. It's so sweet.
It kind of does, yeah.
It really does.
I'm just curious if it's like some kind of different strain of rye that they're using, like.
Oh, in the
like
grain,
on the Moonshiners episode here a little while back, where they were like looking for some special ryes and things like that. I wonder if they've picked out something that's not the standard, the standard rye, just so they could have something different.
Yeah, interesting. Matt, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it could be some sort of like an heirloom grain, or maybe they've done something different with the barley in there, or who knows? Could be that Southern Aquifer water.
It could be. It could be that
Georgia's
that Georgia,
that boiled peanut water.
Okay, so now that last sip I just took, I did get a little more spiciness on my palate on that one. Like I'm getting a touch of a tingle on my tongue, but still not what I would expect from a 96.4 rye.
Even on their website, it's medium to slow finish, rye grain, warm fruit, brown sugar, and dried apricot, which is
kind
of on it. So I expected to read it and be like, loads of baking spice, but no, I guess their goal is a sweet rye, but it has to be, like you guys said, some form of a different rye. Like it's not what MGP is using. It's
there's something about it because it's really sweet. And I'm just thinking, is it the barrel process they're using? Is it maybe the yeast that they've got in there? Or 4% malted barley, still, that's not much. That's just going to be for fermentation. That's not going to lend much to the
unless
flavor.
It's like a super low entry proof going into the barrel, maybe.
And this is, what is it? 90? What's the proof on this? 95? 95 proof. So again, easy sipper.
This is definitely a good, like, if your friends are coming over, a good, if they're like, ooh, tell me about this whiskey. That's a good introductory whiskey for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
You'd pour this over ice cream.
Oh, yeah, man. Have a rye sundae.
Yeah, some rye ice cream.
Matt, God, dude, you're like on it tonight.
The snow's on this, though. I'm still smelling it. It smells so good.
The what?
The nose on it. It's still so good.
Yeah, even with the empty glass over there. Yep, definitely.
This isn't like a negative thing, but empty glass, I got like a fresh wood chip sawdust.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm still getting that sweetness, man. The sugar,
it's
honey,
sweet. That was just like the first note I got.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I can't get past some of those first notes though. Like once I pick something out, it's like I'm stuck on that.
Yeah.
On that sweetness. But I did get a little bit of almost like a little bit of a leathery note on this too. Just a hint, kind of maybe secondary or even a third level note, something tucked way back in there. So anyway, you didn't say leather? You said tobacco, didn't you?
I might have said both.
I find that a lot though when I'm doing tastings. If someone says tobacco or leather, it's kind of
intermingled.
Yeah, they kind of intermingle together for me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, all right, guys, we're at the end of round one here, so we'll wrap it up on this one. What do you guys think? What are your final thoughts on this one?
I think if the price is $35 to $40, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice bottle. I like the simple label. Great. I mean, it's not too pricey. You couldn't use it in cocktails. I mean, it's for it when friends come over, like Philip said, bust it out, tell them it's some Saz 18 or something, and let them roll.
And with the bottle shape and everything, it's going to stand out on your shelf.
Yeah.
People are definitely going to ask about it.
Yeah, they will. They'll see that and they'll be like, wow, that's really cool. And it's got the green label, so it's a rye, right? So it falls in line with that whole concept of green labels for rye. But it is a very unique bottle, like Matt said, very similar to that birthday bourbon bottle.
It's the birthday bourbon.
Yeah, it's like it's a birthday bourbon, man. The label just fell. The label just fell off of it. Just turn it around backwards or something, right? All right, guys, let's get a quick break from our sponsors, and we'll come back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute. Everybody, sit tight, and we'll be right back. Spirits of French Lick crafts their spirits using only the finest agricultural product that has defined character, following their motto: respect the grain. They lead the way in representing the quality of the Hoosier artisan distilling process while paying tribute to its inseparable past. By implementing best practices from those early times, combined with modern touches, Spirits of French Lick has created a truly unique place in the industry. Spirits of French Lick products are distributed throughout Indiana, Kentucky, and Missouri, and can also be purchased online through Sealbox at sealbox.com. Visit spiritsoffrenchlick.com to learn more information, and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Located just east of Lake Tahoe and the Sierra Nevada mountains, Frey Ranch Distillery was founded by fifth-generation Nevada farmers. Our grain-to-glass bourbon is made using a 4-grain mash bill, including a non-GMO corn, rye, wheat, and barley, all of which is 100% sustainably grown on the 1,500-acre Frey Ranch. And our commitment to excellence shows with a recent gold medal win at the 2020 Whiskeys of the World and USA Spirits competitions. Find out more at www.freyranch.com. All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Tim Smith Spirits. I'm your host, Mark, and with me live tonight in the Bourbon Life Studios, otherwise known as my basement, is the Bourbon Life Crew. Guys, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you guys back. It's been a while since we've all.
It has been a while.
Yeah. It has been. And this is fun.
Too long. I was really looking forward to getting this show
good, man.
recorded tonight.
Let's see. I was here in November for the holiday extravaganza. Philip was here for the Christmas extravaganza.
Yeah, that's right.
New Year's. It was
New Year's.
I think I called it the New Year's because it came out on New Year's Eve, right? And the other one before was Matt when he cooked for us.
And I wasn't here. I phoned in on that one.
You phoned in. That's right.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Now, wait, have you guys...
We've not had an episode together in, 3 or 4 months?
I was going to say, it's been a long time.
And then recording actually here, it was the first crew episode we did, I think.
Man.
Together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while.
God, I didn't realize it'd been that long.
That's what
it was over on the couch.
I was going to say, it was at the couches. It wasn't even at the flights of the round.
This is a rust buster. Get us all back into it again.
Man, no kidding. And we're all drinking. Of course, you guys have been drinking. Well, Matt's not been. Matt is drinking, though. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. How's it feel? You drunk yet?
I'm done for.
Yes, we still have. We're going to actually drink up 3 more things tonight. So we got something else poured up, Philip. I know we don't have notes on it because I had no idea what we were going to be drinking. That's why I love doing these shows. It's like you guys show up and I'm like, you guys bring bottles and I've got bottles and I'm like, what do you guys want to drink tonight?
All of them.
Yeah, let's drink it all. So tell us what we got, Phil.
This one was provided by Matt. This is a
Matt.
Charcoal mellowed Old Ezra 7.
Good job, Matt. You're awesome.
So it's aged 7 years, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 117 proof from Lux Row Distillers. Distilled and aged in Kentucky, bottled at Lux Row Distillers, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
I know why Matt brought this.
You do know?
I do know why Matt brought this.
Well, enlighten us, man.
Because, it just smells like peanut brittle.
That's what I was going to say.
Peanut butter. It's just, crack open that bottle or that jar of Jiffy and
jump right on that nose. It is peanut butter.
That's what it is. Okay. All right. So, Chad, go ahead and finish out then on your nose since you jumped in.
Make me sound rude, Mark?
No. I didn't mean it that way. I was just
I know.
You were like, you had the right answer, I'm sure.
No, it's tons of peanut butter, just a little bit of leather and cinnamon. Picking up some oak, but not a ton of oak, which is usually one of the things I like about this. Is the nose. There's a lot of oak on it, but I've not had this pour in probably 2 years, so this will be nice.
I was gonna say, it's when that first came out, I snagged a bottle at I was at Total Wine Lexington Green.
Yeah.
And they were doing a tasting, and that was one of the bottles they were doing a drawing for. And I was like, oh, yep. They drew my number. I'm like, yep, I'm taking the Old Ezra 7. That's it. And I've picked up like 2 or 3 more bottles since then. So I've got a couple tucked away. And it's just one of those bottles I forget about. But
me too.
I love the bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. The labels are so freaking cool on that. I just love the way it looks. But I mean, obviously there's more to a whiskey than the coolness of the bottle, right?
Not at all.
Not at all. Matt, what about you, man? What are you picking up on the nose over there, Mister? Is this like Grandma's peanut butter pie? Not quite the white label.
No,
it's
right? Not quite Old Trusty.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I think we'll all probably agree there's a whole lot of peanut butter on the nose. That brittle is coming through. I find that there's some butterscotch, a little bit of leather behind it as well. I think the 7 or 7.5 years that it's in there is giving a little bit of barrel to it as well.
Yeah.
Some leather, a little bit of oak in it as well. And almost like underneath there's like just this subtle herbal aroma. I don't know if it's mint. I don't know if it's just like a grassy type aroma underneath, like a hay or something, but there's something herbal on the very bottom of it.
Nice. Philip, what about you, man?
All right, Matt, I'm going to blow your mind. To me, that's that herbal. It smells like alfalfa to me, like an alfalfa hay.
I can see that.
That's what I get. But it's delicious. There's something about Bardstown bourbons to me that always smell like peanut butter.
Now,
no matter which distillery it comes from, for whatever reason, that area, I always just immediately pick that up.
It's the Bardstown Air. It's the fact they're located next to the Jiffy or the Jif peanut. No, that's here in Lexington.
Yeah, the air flows.
The air flows from Lexington from the Jif peanut butter plant, which is an awesome smell. If you've never been to Lexington and had the luxury to smell the Jif peanut butter plant on Winchester Road as they're roasting peanuts.
Someone needs to build a distillery in Mount Sterling next to the Hot Pocket factory.
But it's almost like that, like, you have like regions like, Scotland, Ireland, all those. And then, even bourbons, Kentucky bourbon, Texas bourbon. To me, it's like there's
something
regions in Kentucky and they taste different from where they're aging.
That makes sense, man. So I don't know. I mean, I hate to say this. I don't know a whole lot about Lux Row at all. Do you guys know much? Chad, Philip, do you guys know much about them at all?
I know more about the individualized brands than I do of the actual parent company.
Didn't
MGP bought them?
Yeah, they just bought Lux Row.
I thought Lux Row just really kind of took over MGP, right?
I mean,
because they changed the name of MGP to
Ross and Squibb.
There you go, Ross and Squibb.
Whatever the hell that is. Yeah.
But I was, because it was like, initially I thought it was MGP bought out Lux Row, but then I'm like, I saw some information that it was like Lux Row is really taking over MGP. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, they just promoted someone. There's like one guy who's head blender or distiller of MGP, and I don't know if that's going to be also for Lux Row or what. I've not done enough digging into that, but I know now that like they're bottling stuff. I think they're going to start bottling stuff from MGP, like the Remus at Lux Row and all that. But it's kind of a weird acquisition. Now everyone says it's just because MGP wants to be able to say Kentucky bourbon, So now, I mean, Lux Row sources Heaven Hill. So that's
gotcha. So Lux Row is sourcing their stuff, right?
Yeah, they believe their stuff should be coming out, if not the end of this year, then it's next year. Because if you look at the bottles, it'll say usually, which I don't know if that one, distilled for
it
Lux
says
Row.
Bottled for Lux Row distillers. It says distilled and aged in Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah. So it's distilled at Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. So I changed my comment. Now I know why it tastes like
that. Well, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, and again, I don't know a lot about Lux Row, but I was thinking that they weren't, at least what they're putting out now was not their own juice.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a sourced product. But yeah, I agree. The peanuts coming through on that one, but it's a Heaven Hill product. So I guess that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
See, Chad, I'm glad you're here to clarify that, because like I said, have no idea what we're drinking, so no notes, no nothing, no prep. And Lux Row is just one of those brands that I just don't know. I mean, I like their stuff, you know, especially those like distillers collections that they came out with. Because Lux Rose Rebel, right? Rebel Yell.
Yeah.
Rebel Yell 100 proof.
Yeah, so huge fan of Rebel 100. They just released a Rebel 12.
Yeah,
$200.
Seriously?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I know the 10-year is like less than 100.
Yeah, I think I've got a bottle of that 10-year. I think it was like $89 or something.
Well, Lux Row has a 12-year that they've released.
The double barrel or whatever.
Is it double? I know they've got a 12-year, or is it a 10?
It may be a 12.
Yeah.
I was thinking
there is a 12-year that they release under the Lux Row Distillers.
I think they call it double barrel because it's like a blend of two.
Okay.
I might be thinking of something else.
But I was thinking there was a double barrel 12-year-old. That's what I'm saying, man.
It's not like double oaked. It's like
right. It's just a blend of
two barrels. Yeah.
Right.
Which that might not be Lux Row. It could be Lux Row. I'm thinking so hard right now. I'm questioning. I'm second guessing myself.
Well, but they do the Distillers Collection. They do the Rebel. They do the Ezra, I think, as well, right?
Yep.
And they have those picks because I know Liquor Barn's done a couple of those. You guys, Total Wine, they've done them as well, right?
Yeah, we still haven't received our Rebel cast strength picks though.
Gotcha. Yeah, and they're good. I mean, they're
good.
really really good stuff. There's no question about it. So, but yeah, the nose on this one is good. Of course, you know, Heaven Hill product. Not a surprise that we're fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew I would be a fan. I even like the Ezra Brooks 90 proof. I mean, I think it's good,
like
especially
that
for like $11.
The 99 for like $20 is really good.
Yeah. So, guys, we're just talking about barrel picks and things. Did you guys see the news recently about the Kentucky the barrel pick program that there may be in jeopardy somewhat? Did you guys see the news about that?
I did, and all I got to say is whatever store didn't get the barrel pick they wanted to is going to ruin it for everybody.
Well, yeah, just so everybody knows what was going on. I guess apparently at some point last year, the ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control here in Kentucky, I don't know if it was during a legislative session of some form, something happened. There was some guidance that was issued, I think, by ABC that indicated that the single barrel programs that are run by the distilleries here in Kentucky technically violate the regulations that are in place for distilleries. There are no regulations or laws really in place with regard to single barrel programs and how those can operate. But distilleries are limited as to how much they can provide in terms of alcohol to people on a visit. So you can't consume, I think it's like more than 1.75 milliliters at a time when you go visit. That's why a lot of the distilleries give you the small, teeny tiny samples. Because they're not supposed to give you more than
1 ounce.
Yeah, is that 175 milliliter? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you, but I know that at work I can't give someone more than 1 ounce of alcohol, so I have to give them 2 half-ounce cups.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's probably what it is. That they can't provide over a certain amount.
Yeah, 1.75 milliliters sounds really low. Are you sure it's not ounces? Because I think 1 ounce is like 47 or 45 milliliters.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I believe so.
All right.
I'm thinking like 1.75.
Then maybe I'm off on that one.
That's like eyedropper.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry
style if it's milliliters.
All right. Maybe I had the bad information on that.
29.57, I think is what Mark was meant to say.
There you go. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. But regardless, so there is a limit on how much you can have in terms of samples. But then there's also a limit as to how much you can actually buy in one day from a distillery. So the point was that if you're going on these barrel picks and you're standing around pulling stuff out of the barrel and you're sampling it, which we've all been on barrel picks, you know, and you sometimes consume. I'm looking at you, Chad.
40 ounces of
when you go to Prohibition Craft Spirits and you're hanging out with Chase and picking a Nulu barrel or two.
When I went last week, he was telling someone the story, and he's like, "Man, he was a champ. He had too many drinks and kept drinking."
Or when you go with a local retailer and you taste 18 barrels.
There you go. Yeah. So you have those moments, right? So we've had those moments. There's no question about it. So that exceeds the allowable amount in terms of samples, but also in terms of purchase, you can't purchase more than 12,750, or I think it's 9 liters total, in a single visit. So if you're buying a barrel of 53 gallons or whatever that's going to yield 185 to 200 bottles, you're obviously exceeding that. So it's kind of a technical glitch that's out there, but somebody brought it up. So you may be right, Chad. Somebody may have been, Philip, you guys
say, My conspiracy theory mind is like, okay, well, it's either a retailer or I do believe there's at least one legislator, if not a few, that own a bourbon brand and they're sourced. They're not private picks at a distillery. It could be like, hey,
that's interesting. I didn't think about that, but there is. That's true.
So maybe that's where it's coming from. I don't know.
Don't know, but it could very well be that someone on the inside had raised that issue and went to the ABC and said, "Hey, did you guys know that these things are going on?" And but that could be it. But regardless, so Whiskey Cast, which is a podcast and a online presence and whatnot. I forget the guy's name that does it, but he did a story about it last week, and then I think Bourbon Pursuit even picked up a story as well and did some information about it. But so as an attorney, it kind of piqued my curiosity as well, because I'm like, seriously? I'm like, that I never even thought about that.
I don't see this sticking.
I don't think
single barrel program in Kentucky is so huge.
Huge, right?
It is. I mean, and in this one, as far as to say, like, it's going to block other states. So, you can't have Ohio ABC coming to Maker's Mark to do a private selection, or I think I read somewhere there was an article that just was like only a few paragraphs, and they said something about the phrasing of like what legally is a barrel pick, and they're trying to like get it worded right. So I don't know, because I mean, if Mark wants to buy a barrel, Mark has to go, even if he goes to you go to the brand, say you and I go to Nulu, I can't pay Nulu directly in cash. We gotta pay the distributor.
Right.
Now, I mean, there are some distilleries, some smaller ones, who do let people buy directly from the gift shop, and they can purchase up to 9 liters a day. And there's some distilleries who don't even care about that, and they just let you purchase whatever. But I have a hard time. I mean, if this is something that like goes away for any amount of time, then there must be some very upset, and I hate to say butthurt people.
Yeah.
Because it's.
I get it, man. I agree. I mean, obviously, this had to come from somewhere, and I'd love to know where and how. And I may actually do some digging around.
People, Mark.
And make some phone calls just to see if I can find out really more about how this all came about. But the good news is the legislature here, they're in session still, right, Phil? And we're still in session till end of February, maybe, or
early March.
That's
actually, this is a long session, so like the 1st of April.
Okay, yeah. So they came in at the
beginning of January.
So so our legislature's in session now, and apparently there is something proposed out there that's going to take care of this. But the guy at Whiskey Cast made a good point, because he was talking about like Westport whiskey over in Louisville.
Yeah,
they did, I think, 60 barrel picks last year. And they talked to the guy. He's like, look, even if you say an average of $8,000 a barrel, you're talking about almost $500,000 worth of barrels that just one place purchased from distilleries. I mean, that's a huge economic impact.
We did over $4 million for our 4 total wine stores in Kentucky. You think of that. I mean,
holy crap, dude.
If someone wants, seriously, that's just, I know in the grand scheme of things for the state, but I mean, you look at what all the industry provides, and you just subtract $4 million from that, and you basically just raise the middle finger up to to all the distilleries who do their part.
Right. Yeah. So it sounds like it's under control, and it sounds like maybe somebody just said, "Oh my God, this would be a great story. Let's talk about it." And now here we are talking about it. But still, I mean, it's something that it was a concern, and there was some legitimate concern to it. So
and I'd be curious, how would that, if they didn't change anything, how would that affect sourcing barrels? Because it's the same thing. It's just a distillery doing it versus a private buyer or a store, a retail store buying it. It's really not any different.
Well, but I think if you're sourcing, you've got a license and you've got the permits.
You got to work through a wholesale, or you got to work through a broker with a wholesaler's license who acts as that middleman, which is still kind of the same thing. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but but versus, I don't know, man.
It's virtually the same thing.
I can see what you're saying there.
You're still going through a broker. You're still going through the same steps to get it. It has to go to a retailer before you can't just go to the distillery and pick up the bottle.
Pick it up.
So it's
someone just couldn't pick their Pappy Van Winkle barrel. That's where it started.
All right, guys. So let's talk about the taste on this old Ezra 7. What do you get on that, Philip? as you take a drink, man, since you got a mouthful of it, I'm going to ask you.
I get a lot of that peanut flavor. I get a little bit of spice, a little bit of like a cinnamon, maybe a little nutmeg, and then I definitely get some leather on it.
Yeah.
But this is right in my wheelhouse. This is like my go-to flavor of bourbon.
Cinnamon for me comes through, and it's actually a little tannic on the finish to me, which Chad, that's your jam, right?
It is my jam.
So, but the sweetness, it is sweet, but the cinnamon comes through a little spicy. What's the proof on this one again?
117.
117, yeah.
117.
Man, it's just nice. Just warms you right up, right?
Yeah, perfect proof.
It's been a while since I've enjoyed some high proof. Well, actually, since February 1st. But we won't even go there, man. What about you, Chad? What do you pick up, man, in terms of the taste and the palate on this one?
I mean, obviously, not knocking anything, old Ezra or Lux Row. Clearly, it's a Heaven Hill product. I feel like if you serve this in a blind to someone, they're going to think it is Heaven Hill. It's just blended differently.
Right.
All the sweetness from that 78% corn really shows through. Get a lot of leather. And I got a little bit of like a barnyard funk, which is always a weird note to describe to people. But to me, it's like a mix of like musty wood and tobacco.
Okay.
But when I find those together, it reminds me of when I used to help hang tobacco as a kid. So
I gotcha. That makes sense.
The barnyard funk, the old brown chicken, brown cow.
Matt is on fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Matt on fire. I'm telling you. Matt, what do you get on the taste and the palate, man?
This tastes to me like barrel strength 6-year Heaven Hill.
It does?
Bottled and bond.
Okay. All right.
called it.
Got
right there with you.
Yeah, peanut butter. It's got getting like a little bit of like a whipped cream, like
interesting,
a sweet cream with it. And to be honest, I think this is a blend, a good blending taste and characteristic between the 6-year bottled and bond and 120 proof Knob Creek, which I find to be like kind of peanutty with a little bit of oak and leather because it's usually a little older.
Right.
So I think this like strikes a good balance between
That's a good description.
Those two.
Very nice, Matt. I would write that down if it really, there's some other place I could use that, but I can't. But
if I were at all relevant,
if I were the distiller, if I worked at Lux Row, I'd write that down because that's a knife. Of course, I don't know if I worked at Lux Row if I want to say, yeah, it tastes like Knob Creek, but but that is a good descriptor, Matt. I mean, seriously, that's a great way to describe it. But I love Old Ezra 7, always have since it came out. Happy to have a couple bottles of this and just always. This is a blend, right? So it's not a single barrel. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't say anything about.
Yeah. Okay. That's just
It just says barrel strength.
Right. Yeah. It's just barrel strength, but it's not. It's a blend, obviously. Really good stuff from Heaven Hill, man. So, what do you guys think? Pricing on this, Chad. You know what? I'm just gonna throw it to you since you.
I believe, and I could be wrong on this. I mean, I know when it came out, it was like $35.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was
super cheap.
It was super cheap
for an age stated,
yeah.
cask strength or barrel proof, whatever you want to terminology. I believe now it hovers around at where I work at around $57.99, almost $60.
Okay,
that sounds right. I feel like when I go up to Michigan, it's pretty plentiful there, around 62 to 65.
Which, I mean, all things considered, I mean, I could always, and sometimes I find myself saying this, like when we get it in, like, I remember paying $35 for that. But in today's day and age, for a 7-year, 117 proof, very well blended product, I think $60 is well worth it.
I agree, man. I've got 2 or 3 bottles. Of course, the first one was at the lower pricing, but I know I've spent in the mid 50s for a bottle just to have as a backup to have it. So definitely a good choice in my opinion. So Matt, this is like grandma's peanut butter pie on steroids, maybe, or
something like that.
Just a little intensified, right?
Yeah, with some of that like alcoholic whipped cream on top.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You got to make that for us, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, no doubt, man. Next, when are we going to have another cooking episode, Matt?
St. Patrick's Day. We'll have.
Everything's gonna be green and
God,
Irish whiskey. You can break out that Fighting 69 over there, Philip, and we'll crush some of that, right? Well, guys, I think we probably should take a break here. Looks like we're at the end of round 2. and I'm out of things to say. So let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors. We'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky. Three Chord's line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and final round session period of the Bourbon Life Podcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios, the Bourbon Life Crew is all here. Guys, welcome back for round 3. Yes, that's right. Let's see.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
There you go. Glad you guys are here, man.
Yeah.
Look, it keeps running. I just can't stop it.
People are that excited to see me and Philip.
That's right, man. Well, and Matt. I mean,
and Matt.
Goodness gracious, man.
Yeah.
Finally. Finally we get. Oh yeah. Wait. We get Matt back. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy to have him back. Matt, put that phone away, man.
Yep.
I can hear it crinkling in the wires on the cell phone. Isn't that crazy, man? That your cell phone can penetrate these cords that are wrapped and you like
still to this day.
It's
it's
crazy,
like,
man.
It's like when cell phones first came out. I remember I was 18 when I got my first cell phone and driving to college and hearing the static interrupt the radio.
Yeah.
Drove me nuts.
I know, man. It's like crazy that you know, with all this technology and all these high tech cords that we've got and these great microphones and everything, that a cell phone on the table can still pick up through
Needs better shilding.
You can't get much better shielding than these cables, from what I understand. But I don't know.
No, this is all top quality stuff.
All right, man. Let's move on with the show because we're going to start boring people with this. So anyway, let's look at Philip's. I'm not even waiting, man. I'm just going to go ahead and drink. So hey, I guess I'll tell everybody what we have poured up here. Chad. This was Chad's pick in honor of his 28 days of Blantons. So he brought a straight from the barrel, and I will admit, this is the first time that I've ever had straight from the barrel Blantons.
And I cannot believe that.
And I just said Blantons.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I believe it's pronounced Blantones.
But Blantones, yeah. This one is pronounced, well, this is a Japanese.
I always thought it was from Blaine Antonio.
I'm not even going to do the sound effect.
Thank you.
You don't deserve it, Matt.
Yeah. So you guys asked me to read the label because it's in Japanese. So I will say that it says, Sumimasen wakarimasen, which means I'm sorry, I don't understand. Those are the only two Japanese words that I remember from taking Japanese in college. I don't understand and I'm sorry. So, but it comes in handy tonight. But this is dumped on 8/19 of 19 from barrel number 227 in warehouse H, which is the Blanton's warehouse. 129.2 proof, so it's a 64.6 ABV on Rick number 37 in warehouse H. Chad, man, thanks for bringing this over.
Hey, no problem, man. I figured of all the Blantons I brought, that would be the one to be opened. I mean,
yeah,
everyone's had regular Blantons. I didn't think anyone would want to try the Green Label 80 proof Blantons. So I was like, this will be fun, which I didn't know you'd never had it. So
never had it. And look, it's a left-facing horse too, so that's important. You know, you want to make sure you get the left. You want to make sure you get the left-facing horses on your Blantons. It makes it so much better. Philip, what are you picking up on the nose on this one? You've been working this one over for the last 5 minutes, man. So
this one, I get a little bit of cherry. I get a lot of leather, a little bit of the tobacco. I don't know what the age is on it, but with it being the barrel strength, you definitely get
I'm assuming this is probably a regular. I don't think they age this longer, do they? I mean, probably 6 to 8 years, I'm guessing. Do you know, Chad?
I have no idea. I mean, most of the stuff that goes to for Japan markets is usually aged a little longer.
Okay.
I mean, I was told in January 21 that most Blantons is 5 to 6 years old. The standard edition of Blantons is 5 to 6 years old. So that being from 2019 could be very well.
Okay, I'm just going to, and this is a speculation. Oh, it's funny because this is 700 milliliters. So this is not a 750.
Nope.
So you got cheated out of 50 milliliters on this one.
That's how it is outside of America.
On the back of the label, that's all in Japanese, there are 3 digits, and it says 1-6-9. So could that be January 6th of 2009?
Could be. This could be it.
That it was distilled and it was dumped 8/19/19, which would be a 10-year-old,
10.5-year-old Blanton.
Blantons. Would that potentially be possibly
with the nose on it? As much leather as I'm getting, I would think
it's got a lot. It definitely has a lot of oak on the nose.
Yeah. So Chad, what are you picking up on the nose since you're jumping right in there, man? Go right ahead.
I feel like I cut you off.
No, you don't. You're not cutting me off, man. I prefer. People want to hear. People would rather hear you talk than me just ramble about dates and stuff, man.
No, I agree with Philip. Getting a ton of tobacco and leather on the nose, a little bit of that cherry showing through, a little bit of ripe fruit. You definitely get ethanol. I mean, it's almost 130 proof, so getting a little bit of heat there. Nice cinnamon, red hot candies, brown sugar. And there's a little hint of floral, like a little earthiness to it that's not necessarily like leathery or, tobacco or, funky. There's just, I don't know, it's like almost a black tea note, but not quite. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I gotcha. Matt, what about you, man? What are you getting over there?
I get the cherry coming through right away.
Oh, yeah.
There's also like a little bit of like charred tobacco, almost like ash coming through for some reason. I kind of picked that up. Then there's a subtle sweetness that I think also plays with what the floral Chad was talking about. Maybe like honeysuckle or some sort of like a sweet floral.
Yeah, I could see that
coming through with it. But there's oak. You can tell it's got age to it. It just like has that kind of that depth of funk a little bit on it. I think like leather, tobacco, oak, kind of campfirey, smoky, charred tobacco type aroma to it. But the fruit and that like sweet floral factor really kind of brighten things up.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to get like a bubble gummy. As detailed as you are, it's like, you okay over there, Chad?
I took too big of a whiff.
Oh no, man! It's
eyes
like,
are burning.
We're gonna have to send Chad off to take a pit stop or something, man, because he's dying. He got that 120. What was his 126? Is that what I said it was?
129.
129.2, man. So right on the verge of the 130 level. We're gonna lose Chad here in a second. But no, I mean the cherry comes through really, really predominant on the front end for me. But the more I've been smelling it, the ethanol is dissipated, so it's not really coming across as hot as it was initially. But it started to, Matt. Sometimes when I get those high proof bourbons, I talk about the bubble gum, the Topps baseball card stuff. I mean, I'm kind of getting that same. And this is mash bill number 2. Is that their lower rye?
It's a higher rye.
It's the higher rye, but we don't really know what rye content, what the level is.
They
right?
estimate, like people guesstimate 12 to 15.
15, yeah.
The mash bill one's like 8 to 12.
8 to 12, yeah. So we're guessing that 15 range possibly, but still, man, it's coming through a sweetness, the cherry, but that oak comes through as well. Some leather for me also, man, yeah. That's awesome. And we cracked this bottle, Chad. That's what I'm so happy you did that. And very appreciative of the fact that you brought a bottle that was uncracked, straight from the bottle.
I'm just
straight from the barrel.
The last 2 bottles of Blantons I've opened, the little pull tabs that say pull on them have snapped. So then I've just ripped the wax off. So I'm happy the one that's been sitting in my closet for the last 2 or 3 years open fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, appreciate that, man. This is a treat. No doubt about it. And, I've seen this, obviously, and it's one that I have sought after, but again, I'm not going to pay secondary to track it down, but I appreciate you bringing it over, man, to enjoy it. So guys, let's talk some more news, just some things going on. Something kind of big happened earlier this week, I guess it was, or was it late last week, earlier this week? Wes Henderson.
Yeah, man.
Over at Angel's Envy, deciding to step down from leadership position there at Angels Envy. What do you guys think about that?
I thought he was a great guest when we had him on the show.
He was, dude.
A really great guy to talk to. Of course, the pedigree he comes from, second to none.
Sure, man.
It sounded like he was trying to set it up to pass the legacy on as well. So hopefully there's no ill will in him stepping down, but I hope that the Henderson name can continue on within either Angels Envy or wherever he ends up. If he ends up somewhere else in the industry, I hope he's able to take his sons and his name, or at least help to spread the name and get them on the ground if they're doing something in his absence.
Yeah, because I think 4 of his sons. He's got 6 sons, I think, or something like that.
Like 5.
He's got the entire Brady bunch.
Yeah. There's 5 or 6 sons, and I think 3 or at least 3. I think 4 now maybe work for Angels Envy in different capacities over there. And it didn't say that that they were leaving or stepping down. And
I think they're staying with the company.
With the company,
I'm pretty sure his thing on Instagram said he was leaving it leaving his legacy with them to continue on or something along that line.
And of course, he's the son, like Matt said. I mean, he comes from the pedigree. Lincoln Henderson was his father and helped him start Angels Envy. Probably 10, 12 years ago. It was 2010, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
Somewhere around there, right?
Yep.
So, and Lincoln, was a legend in the industry, no question about that. But then Wes, continued that, worked with his dad, and built Angels Envy, which is owned in, I guess, majority ownership now. Is it Bacardi?
Yeah, Bacardi.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. So,
I'd like to think that he just was like, you know what, I'm good here.
Yeah.
I've done what I need to do. My kids have got this. I just hope it's not, anything between Bacardi and him, or it's, not health issues or anything.
Right.
Because me and my girlfriend went to Louisville last February, and we just popped into Angels Envy. I'd never been there, and I've always been a big fan of the product. Most people prefer the rye over the bourbon. I'm the opposite. I like the bourbon a lot.
Do you? Okay.
But we just popped in there just because it's, we were downtown Louisville. We were staying in downtown Louisville, not too far from it. So we just decided to pop in there, and then he was there. He was on his way out, but just said hey to everyone in the gift shop. So I mean, it's you don't usually see that. Like I've seen another master distiller of a very well known brand. Like
we won't say who it is though.
Like basically just jolting through the gift shop,
head down,
and just getting in and out after talking to someone else. So it is nice that he just took his time to be like, "Hey, doing all right? Find anything? Have any questions?" Because you don't have to do that.
Right, right. Yeah, and like Matt said, we had him on the show. Just a great guest. And I'm probably a bigger fan of the rye.
Most people are. I mean, it's very dessert forward.
Than the bourbon, but and their stuff is unique, right? So they're taking bourbon, then that was their jam. I mean, they finished it. The bourbon's finished in port wine, and then the rye's finished in Caribbean rum cask.
I mean, they kind of set the bar for that. I mean,
they did. Yeah. I mean, honestly, very unique concept when they started it, because now everybody is finishing their stuff in something.
Yeah, you're a nobody without a finished bourbon these days.
Yeah, but that's what that was their product. That's what it was. And probably the first one really to make a point to do that.
Yeah.
As their primary product. So really kind of set the bar pretty high for people to follow. And Wes is just a really genuine guy. Had a great time. We didn't do it in person. I wish we had the chance to do that. And I think I may have had a little too much to drink on that show, if I remember correctly. Matt's rolling his eyes like, what else is new?
I remember the text message I got after that show.
Yeah. Anyway, man. But no, definitely good show. Philip, what do you think, man?
You just hope that it's, cordial and that he's just leaving because he wants to, or,
Yeah.
The last 2 years have changed a lot of people, and they've,
sure,
had their different mindset on the way the world is, and they want to do something different, or, so hopefully that's what it is, and they'll continue on the legacy with the sons. And
because he's big involved in his community, because he doesn't live in Louisville. He lives, I think, a little bit north.
Yeah.
I think he lives up in Oldham County, and I think he's a volunteer fireman.
Yeah.
At like his little, So, I mean, I think there's other things that he's involved with. Obviously, he's a father. I believe he's a grandfather as well. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. The grind of traveling to Louisville every day to run a distillery, I'm sure that wears on you. And he set it up for success. They've been successful. They've been wildly successful. And, his sons are in a place where, as long as things continue as they are, I think they'll be pretty well taken care of, it sounds like. So.
I mean, they're expanding too. They're going through an expansion right now. So like that whole left side of the building is blowing out, and they're pushing that down towards the highway. So
yeah, and it's a cool place. It's a great distillery. If you've not been there, man, check it out. Downtown Louisville.
Yeah.
Kind of weird if you have to park under the underpass and walk.
I park across from the baseball stadium. So
yeah, I seem to always park like under the underpass, and I'm always kind of leery. I'm like just checking around, making sure.
Yeah, I avoid once I figured out there's parking like another block and complete 360 visibility.
Yeah, I get it, man.
There's few brands that have really made big impacts in bourbon, and they're one of them. The barrel finishing, that was their thing, just like Michter's with the toasted. So
yeah,
he definitely has a legacy that he's leaving on the bourbon world for sure.
Yep.
I mean, how many people are going to go out and drop 200 plus on a cask strength bourbon? I mean,
right behind you there, it's like set on the bottom shelf, man. The 10th anniversary,
and it's damn good too. I mean,
yeah.
I love it. I hate the price tag.
Yeah, I agree. I hate the price tag, and that's not been cracked either. So we're gonna have to do that at some point, for sure. All right, guys. So let's talk about the taste on this one, because we're going to drink something else. So let's on this straight from the barrel. What do you guys think in terms of the profile on it?
I'll lead off on this one.
Jump in there, Matt. Thank you, sir.
Sure deal.
Matt's like, let's wrap this show up, man. Come on.
No, there's that fruit. Which is weird. The first thing, once you cut past the heat, first and foremost, that fruit is there. There's like a ruby, rosy, red fruit that comes through with it.
Yeah.
Then it's got that mature, high proof Buffalo Trace taste that I find pretty typical of like tobacco and oak. And there's just like kind of this smoky, charry sort of taste that comes along with it.
Now, Matt, I'm going to ask you, because I know you're not a big fan of the Mash Bill 1, or at least the Buffalo Trace itself.
Correct.
You're not a huge fan of that. But now this Mash Bill 2, higher age, higher proof. I mean,
Mash Bill 2 fits what I like
more
a lot
rye.
more out of their profile. Yeah.
Okay.
More rye coming through on it, a little less corn, a little less butterscotch.
Gotcha.
Some of the flavors that I tend to pick up from Mash Bill 1. But this is good. It's got the good heat. There's a lot of caramel.
Yeah.
Caramel?
Caramel? Caramel?
How did I say?
Caramel.
Caramel?
A lot of caramel.
There's a lot of caramel.
And cinnamon as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice to taste the heat with it a little bit too. Like it's got a little burn at first, and I think that's actually a little welcoming.
I agree.
Kind of cuts through a little bit of that oak and some of the tobacco and leather as well, just to have something to break it up.
Yeah. Philip, what about you, man?
I have to agree with pretty much everything Matt said.
Ditto.
It's a great pour. I do like Mash Bill 2 better than the Mash Bill 1.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm comparing this to something like a Stag Junior, things, something around the same age, same proof. I would probably pick this over that, but overall, yeah, it's definitely good. I don't know that it would, call for the secondary price, but
Yeah.
yeah, but for what it is, it's delicious.
What's this going? Does anybody know it? Because this was like around 150, 175. But
Well, I think once it launched in America, I think it pretty much is going for around like $400 to $500. I can tell you, I did not pay anywhere close. I got this before people cared about it in America, so
Yeah.
I paid them. Shipped to me. I got this in a bottle of Blanton's Gold, not too far apart from each other, and both of them combined is still less than one bottle of that today in secondary.
Nice deal, man. Yep. I enjoy it. I get the cherry, comes through to me. It seems like the high proof doesn't really, it's funny because even after a month of not drinking, the 129 doesn't faze me,
Yeah.
So I don't really get a ton of burn off of it. It's something, I could drink a lot of this compared to regular Blantons, which I'm not. It's not that I'm not a fan of Blantons. I think it's just so overhyped and so whatever. That I just don't go to it. You know, if I'm going to drink mash bill 2, I'm going to probably pour Rock Hill, something like that, as opposed to this. But if I had a bottle of this, I would drink it regularly. Yeah. So very good, man.
Hey, glad you like it. Yep. Glad that I'm able to serve you the first pour of
it. Man. First time, man. So let's see. Should we move on to something else? Yeah, we can drink some of that Old Forester. And while we're pouring that up, speaking of releases and things coming out, guys, last week, the Woodford Double Oaked came out. Did any of you guys pick up
nope.
Pick up one of those?
Yeah. Wasn't able to.
No. I'm short of a glass here. Do we have extra glasses anywhere? This is awful, man.
I feel like you went up and got.
I did. I thought I got extra glasses, man. Philip's got like all the glasses over there or something, right?
I'm just rinsing out and reusing.
Oh, I said I was going to do that. I'm sorry. That's me. I messed this up.
No, that's all right, dude. I was like, I thought I had enough glasses for everybody, but
I'm a team player.
We've jumped on to pour number. Look, the pour's getting thicker and thicker now. It's like,
yeah, no doubt. Back to your typical self over there.
I know, Matt. You know, it doesn't take long. Old habits die hard, right? So,
here you go, Chad.
What can I say? So,
I've got some. I'm just comparing the colors on them.
So that Woodford, that double oak came out, and that's been my thing the last few years. I love buying it. The first time I went out there, I guess it was 19. And you know, you could buy a case.
Cases.
You could buy a case, one case per day, but you could buy multiple cases. I mean, you could go out the next day and buy another case.
Right.
They didn't care. And I think I bought 6 or 8 bottles that year. Last year went out the night before and they ran us off the property. And then we stayed at a facility close to the distillery until around 7:30 or something, and went up, and there were already people that they had opened the gates and let them in. Anyway, but we still ended up getting bottles. I think I ended up getting 6 bottles, but you could only get 4 at a time. Mm-hmm. But my wife and I went back out and did a tasting and picked up 2 more bottles. So we were out of town, of course, last week down in Pigeon Forge when this release was announced. So I missed out on it. So I do not have any of the double oaked, but it's one of my favorite yearly releases. That's one thing I always love to get. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the double or?
I love the double. I don't remember when the first release of it was or what first bottle I got. I mean, it's been a few years ago, but I got my first one at Kroger, I think. And I got home, cracked it, and it's really good. It's like, I need to go get some more of this. The guy had one more bottle, and then he's like, I got it at the distillery. I went and bought 6 bottles at the distillery.
Did you? No.
Yeah.
The good old days, right?
Yeah.
Because they sold out. I mean, they usually put out around 7,000 some bottles. I think last year's what they had. Now, a portion of that goes out to local retailers.
Right.
Not a lot, but there are some bottles that go out. But they still sell probably 6,000, 6,500, something like that at the distillery. And this year it was limited to 2 per person. And they sold out, I think, in the first 4 days still.
Yeah, we never received any at work. I don't even think it was on my invoice to order any.
As I say, I know Liquor Barn, because I check with them. Liquor Barn has not received any either, which concerns me because I was hoping that between somehow I was going to pull a bottle between you guys, Total Wine, and Liquor Barn, but it's looking like I might get skunked on the.
Well, I know this can't be the first year that I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
Double skunked.
Wait. No, folks. There it was. I'm so messed up on these pads.
The first one was the right one.
Yeah. There you go.
Thanks,
that was a good one.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was so funny. It deserved applause. All right, Chad. So we poured up this one. This is something I picked up at Liquor Barn last week. Randomly, just walked in and. You guys got. Don't act like that. I'm just telling you. I walked in.
Yeah.
And just happened to look to see what they had. Almost missed these bottles. So it's the Old Fort. Well, go ahead, Chad. Tell everybody what we got.
Yeah, let me talk, Mark.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, shut up, Mark.
The booze is flowing, man. I'm just feeling it now.
This is the Old Forester 117 series. This is the High Angel Share Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey without an E. Due to heat-cycled warehousing in our unique maturation environment, occasionally the Angels choose particular barrels from which they take more than their fair share. This whiskey is a small batch of these flavorful few, which developed unique concentrated profiles due to the higher-than-average evaporation loss. Batch 2, 110 proof, release date was November 2021. and this is DSP 354 Forester, and it's a 375.
Yeah, man.
You said 110 proof?
110 proof.
Okay.
Yeah, so we stepped backwards.
What was the age on it?
It's a mix of ages. So Jackie released the spreadsheet on Instagram, and I'm thinking it was as young as 4, as high as 8.
Okay.
So she's been pretty good about posting all the ages and stuff on there. You just have to scroll through her page. But yeah, she on this 117 series for like the Warehouse K and these 2 batches, she's shared every barrel that's gone in there.
And Jackie, for most people know, but if you don't, Jackie Zykin is the master taster.
Yep.
At Old Forester. She is a rock star. I mean,
she's pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, she's the face. She is Old Forester.
She's the face of Old Forester. Yeah. We had her on the show. She was a great guest. We had a blast getting to hang out with her. And she sent us 3 samples of that 150th when they put it. That was awesome. I mean, that was just like, oh man. So they released this, and this bottle actually, Jackie has her signature on this.
First
female
time,
sign. Yeah. I think it's the first, well, maybe not be the first bourbon with the females, but anyway, it's the first Old Forester with a.
I think when she originally posted the release of this, I think that's what it was, the first female's name ever to be on a bourbon label.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. I'm trying to remember if that.
Alex Castle's name is on Old Dominic.
Well, I was going to say that. So that's what I was thinking. I don't know if it was the first, but definitely the first from Old Forester, no question about it. So, but
possibly I'm thinking definitely the first in brown, as far as Brown Foreman.
Brown Foreman, that I could see. Yeah. Yep, that would make sense. Yeah, because Woodford Reserve, obviously, and Jack Daniels, you're not going to, there's not going to be. Yeah, so Jackie's signature's on this. It's really cool. Lucked into these 2 bottles, man, from November. It just happened to be sitting on the counter at Liquor Barn last week. Go figure, right? I think they were like $52 a bottle. I mean, $3.75, yeah, it's a little pricey, but come on. It's Old Forester juice. And I love the bottles, man, because it's a typical Old Forester shape.
Shrunk.
It's just shrunk, right? It's like, I can't wait to be done with this bottle and just save that and have that glass. So what are you guys picking up in terms of the nose on this one?
Immediately, I hated the nose.
Oh, did you really?
When I first, poured it and smelt it,
All right, Philip, I'm sorry. Your time's up here.
My first impressions of it was nothing but like fingernail polish remover.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And after, it's been poured up for about 10 minutes now. After that, then I started getting, after it aired out a little bit, then I started getting a lot of tobacco.
Okay.
A little bit of oak, and then I'm getting definitely some sweet fruit notes. It's getting a lot more pleasant the more air that gets to it.
Yeah. I love the color on it.
It's dark as hell.
Yeah. The first thing that kind of stuck out to me was like the color. I get that Old Forester banana note. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but that's kind of one of their things.
And that may be the fruit note I'm getting is banana.
It's the Old Forester. The 1910 especially, it comes across like bananas Foster or some type of banana. Actually, it's like a little Debbie banana twin from back in the day for me. But I get that banana flavor on this one as well. It's not that hot, 110. It's not coming from that 129.2 Blantons. This is like, oh, this is so nice and pleasant to smell. So Chad, what about you, man? What do you get on the nose on it?
I agree with Philip at first. And this is just a thing with Old Forester for me is typically anytime, it doesn't matter what I crack open, whether it's the 86 or the 100 proof or the 1920, there's always that punch of ethanol from their stuff, but it opens up very well. So like it's been in the glass for 10 minutes or so. I get the banana. To me, it's almost like creme brulee and bananas Foster.
Yeah.
Brown sugar, and then a little bit of toasted oak in there. Very, very nice nose.
Yeah. Matt, what about you, man?
I got to agree. There was that fingernail polish remover.
Was it?
Right,
okay.
Right at the start, kind of like first whiff was like, woo, all right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Because I was not immediately super into it.
Gotcha.
But now it's taken on more of like caramel corn, brown sugar. There's something else in there. I smell that. There's like something herbal. Like a slight mint or maybe like a slight lemongrass or
Yeah.
Or like something very, very subtle with it as well.
And I can't remember off the top of my head what the mash bill is on these.
I don't remember either.
On Old Forester. Chad, you don't happen to know, do you?
No, but
no.
I mean, it's 4 to 8 years old. I know that. But
It's got some corn. It's got some rye.
Yeah, it's
got some malted
it's
barley.
aged in new charred oak barrels in Kentucky.
It comes off the still at less than 160 proof, and I'm pretty sure it goes in a barrel at 125 or less. Right?
Yeah, and according to the bottle, it's 110 proof now. So
yeah, there you go.
That's where we're at.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we solved that mystery. Yeah, definitely, guys. So, hey, earlier we were talking a little bit about Heaven Hill, talking about Lux Row and them sourcing, but Heaven Hill has been kind of expanding their portfolio over the last 8 to 10 years, and they recently added an additional purchase to that. They bought Sampson and Surrey's portfolio, which owns Widow Jane and also Few Spirits, man. So, what do you think about that?
I don't have, I can't speak to Few Spirits. I've never had anything that they've produced.
Really?
Yeah.
we've got 3 bottles over here, man. We'd be more than happy to let you.
And I'll take you up on that.
There you go, man.
But
I've never tried it.
You've never had it either?
Oh, it's great.
I really enjoyed it, man. Paul
Yeah.
Hutgo, man.
Paul does a great job, and
Yeah.
it is all distilled there. There's no sourcing. He does it all in Evansville. Evansville or Evanston?
maybe Evanston, Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Chicago.
And it's the home. It was the home of the temperance movement.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah, I
brand,
listened to that episode. Yeah.
the brand is actually the initials of the woman who started the temperance movement. I can't remember her name, but it was FEW.
Yeah.
So he named the brand Few Spirits.
The history of the brand is really cool, and like everything they're doing, I've just never had it.
Never had it. Yeah. Paul's a former attorney. He's recovering as an attorney, decided to go into the industry. He's kind of a rebel. I mean, I really thought so. I mean, just
where he's set up and
Yeah.
he's in back alley
alleys,
somewhere distilling and
kind of crazy, man.
has to clear out the streets whenever he gets a shipment of barrels so the truck can get in there. Super funky operation, but his attention to detail and quality is certainly goes along with Widow Jane and what Lisa's doing there. And I think those two being acquired by Heaven Hill can only really give them access to more resources if they want them at their disposal. I hope that the resources are used by Widow Jane and Few and not the other way around, personally.
Right.
Because I'd really love to see these two smaller brands benefit from more than Heaven Hill. But I don't see any reason that this can't be a great thing for those brands.
Yeah, I hope you're right. And when I talked about Heaven Hill, they've purchased other brands. Like they purchased the Hypnotic liqueur back in 2013, I think it was. There have been several other brands they've purchased, but this purchase wasn't just Widow Jane and Few, but it also included a mezcal brand, a tequila brand, I think a rum brand. So it's kind of funny, because it's like Heaven Hill, which is still family owned, which is kind of cool. It's like, I guess, really more of a diversification of their portfolio into other brands, so they don't have to create these other brands to be successful and to sell them, but they're able to go out and buy these other things like Hypnotic. I mean, if you know what Hypnotic is, it's that blue liqueur or whatever.
Blue brandy-based liqueur.
Yeah. So, it's just something that's unique that really exploded on the market 10 years ago or 12 years ago, whenever. Just unique. So they obviously saw the potential in that and bought it. So I think Widow Jane and Few, they probably were attractive, but they weren't the only things that were purchased in the transaction. So I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, Lisa Wicker is probably, in my opinion, the most successful person that most people have never heard of.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't mean to laugh about that.
No, but I mean, when people find out, there's been brands, I've looked up, I've been sent samples of stuff from brands, and I go through and it's like blended by Lee, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know she was attached to this. And then I try it, and expectations are met seeing her name, because I mean she does a fantastic job.
Yep, she definitely does, and she was a great guest too, because she lives in Bardstown.
Yeah,
she actually, Willow Jane is based out of New York, so she works in New York like 4 days a week, and then travels back to Bardstown on the weekend, like every weekend, drives back to Bardstown. And then turns around, I know, and then turns around and drives back. And she was on our podcast. It was a Thursday night, and she's
driving home.
She was headed back to Bardstown.
She's in a hotel room,
and she stopped in a hotel room just so she could be on our podcast. Yeah. So she spent the night and did the podcast from a hotel room.
Look at that! You guys put her a day behind getting home.
But she was a great guest, and she's such a great person. And she was like, "You guys got to come down and hang out and sit on the front porch and drink." She goes, "I live right down the street from Fred." "No, just come on down. We'll just hang out and have a good time." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yep.
Don't be surprised when we show up on your front doorstep, Lisa. Right. But yeah, I hope for what I read, it sounds like the acquisition is just for Heaven Hill to kind of diversify their portfolio some, but that this what's it called again? I'm sorry, Samson and Surrey. That brand is going to remain as a separate division under the Heaven Hill brands. So hopefully they'll be able to continue to operate. But even so, the fact that Heaven Hill is a family-owned brand,
right?
I think it makes it really kind of a unique situation versus getting bought out by Campari or Bacardi or somebody like that, where you're dealing with this huge corporate conglomerate.
I just hope that because I mean I've listened to like Paul on a few podcasts, and I've had several Widow Jane products. I hope that like we've talked about, that it stays, that it works in their favor. I'm hoping that down the line they're not like, Heaven Hill doesn't say, all right, we're going to turn Widow Jane into another 78, 10, 12 brand, and you're going to blend 4 and 6 year old bourbon together, and it's going to be a $13 bourbon in a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I just can't imagine. It sounds like they want to continue the premium and super premium, because Widow Jane puts out the 10 and whatever, 13 and the 15, and
yeah, all fantastic.
Yeah, everything I've ever had, everything we had, Matt, was great. They sent us that one bottle that was in the old Army shell casing. I mean, it was crazy. Which one was it? A 15-year?
Was that the Vault?
13-year.
What?
Yeah, the Vault. Yeah,
the Vault.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude, that was amazing. It was one of the old shell case, like the M50s, the big metal case with the flip on it, and I mean, it was crazy. They converted that into a storage container for this bottle. It's pretty. I got it. I'll show you that. It's in one of these closets here somewhere, man. So, all right, guys. So let's talk about the taste on this one. This Old Forester, the 117 series, batch number 2. What do you guys think, Matt?
I probably gonna maybe give unpopular opinion here, but
man,
for me it's a miss.
Breaking my heart. All right.
I pick up a lot of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
that's not your thing.
I don't drink coffee. I don't appreciate coffee.
Nope. I got you. No, I can see that, man.
But to the redeeming qualities, there's like a nice cocoa with it. There's a good amount of corn in there as well, like nice sweet corn and cocoa. But for me, I get like a lot of coffee, and it's got a tannic finish.
Okay.
A drying tannic finish. But there is nice heat. For 110 proof, I think it drinks pretty warm.
Yeah.
So nice to have a little bit of punch on the tongue that way. But
it's a miss.
Just didn't do it.
I got you. Philip?
So this is a surprise to me, because I actually disagree with Matt. I actually agree with Matt most of the time on.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, I'm not an Old Forester fan. But this one, for me, after that initial nose of the rubbing alcohol or the fingernail polish remover, I actually really like it. And like those coffee notes that he was talking about, I really enjoy
it.
Yeah, I think it's delicious.
Chad, what about you, man?
I too get the coffee. I get like an espresso note. It's a little bit of a strong coffee. I get the dark chocolate leather. It's tannic. I do like it, but I struggle to think, do I like this better than Old Forester 1920, which is also 100, or
right.
It's a blend of 4 and 8 year old, 115 proof. I think it is really good. It shows off a lot more. The heat cycling thing never really like wowed me with Old Forester, but I do think this is a good representation of that. I just don't know that I would be the one to go hunt down a bottle. I think it is delicious, but
I gotcha. And that makes sense to me too. And the heat cycling, just so people that don't understand, the warehouses that Old Forester uses, they pump steam through so they can heat it up. They can heat up the warehouses so they can, I don't want to say rapid age, but it's a heat cycled aging. So they can control the heat. They can make it cold. They can make it hot. So they can basically kind of create fluctuations like the normal cycles of heat, summer, spring, winter. But they can do that on an accelerated basis. So if you have a 4-year-old bourbon, it may have gone through 6 or 7 cycles, which would be the equivalent typically of what a 6 or 7-year-old aged bourbon would be here in Kentucky.
And Buffalo Trace does the same thing.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace. Yeah.
So if you're ever at the distillery at Buffalo Trace do a tour and you're walking by and you see the steam coming up beside the warehouses, that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
They're heating up the warehouse.
So they do it. Obviously, it's a Brown-Forman thing, so they do it at Woodford Reserve as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that they do it at Jack Daniel's as well. I don't know because I don't talk about Jack Daniel's on my podcast or my Instagram.
I believe so. I think their reasoning behind that is once the bourbon hits like 34 degrees or somewhere in that range in the 30s, that it actually quits moving in and out of the barrel. It's kind of dormant at that time.
Okay.
So their idea is, well, let's keep it up to 50 degrees and then it'll keep moving.
That makes sense. Yeah. And it does make sense. And obviously, like I said, I mean, you could take a 4-year-old bourbon and it's going to be like Texas, where the Texas weather changes so rapidly.
There is no 6-year Texas.
Because there's nothing left at that point.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, but a 3-year-old Texas bourbon is like a 7-year-old or 6-year-old Kentucky bourbon because of the heat cycling that's naturally occurring in Texas, right? But I see what you're saying, Chad. And I love Old Forester. I'm a big fan, but I'm probably going to have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because I love 1910. And I love the 1920. I mean, I love all the Old Forester stuff. But for this, at the proof point, a 375 at the same price pretty much as what I could get a bottle of 1920 for, I don't know. But the collectability, I guess, or the I could put this on Instagram and show everybody that, which I did. Of course, I put the bottles on Instagram. People are like, ooh, wow, how'd you find that? That's awesome. Congratulations. But drinkability, I like it, and even the tannic, Chad. Believe it or not, I can deal with that.
Oh, you can see past it.
I can see past it, because I just like that flavor profile. I like that banana-ish, and I get some cherry on this too. It's a unique combination for me. A little bit of the oakiness, some leather, and even the tannic. I can tolerate it.
What?
I know, dude. But at the price,
look at you going beyond caramel and vanilla.
I know. I'm trying.
31 days.
You know what? 30. Exactly right, man. My palate
sobering 31 days just reset everything.
That's right. My palate has matured.
Flavors that he didn't even know existed.
Welcome to Foolproof February.
There's a little marzipan in there. No, I'm just kidding. So, $53. I'd probably just buy a bottle of 1920, to be honest. So
I liked it, but I agree with that. For that size bottle, I wouldn't pay $53 for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry for everybody on the secondary that's selling theirs for $225 or whatever they're going.
I'm more sorry for the people who are paying $225.
And nobody listens to us anyways.
Oh, whatever, man. Well, we're the 5th most popular bourbon podcast in the world, Matt. What are you talking about? Come on. I'm just kidding.
Hey, what was it, Malaysia?
In South Korea, man. I'm number one. We're number one in South Korea. We were.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
That's right, guys. All right, man. We better wrap this up. We've been going long enough. We got to get Matt out of here anyway. He's tired. So, guys, before we close it out, final thoughts? What do you think?
Southern Rye, good. Blanton's SFTB, good. Old Forester, it's fine. Old Ezra 7, love it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add? How happy you are to be here?
I am very happy to be here. I just shared a picture of Philip on Instagram because no one's seen him in the flesh in a long time.
Oh, there you go, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Also,
Nice.
I scanned the Blanton's bottle and tried to use the Apple Translate, and Apple thinks that in Japanese, the bottle is 120 years old.
Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Yeah, probably off on that one. Matt, what about you, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm just glad to be back on
We're happy to have you
air
back.
again.
I'm so happy to have you back,
I'm
Matt.
happy to hear your voice along with Mark's.
Yeah, man.
I was laid up a couple weeks ago, sick in bed.
Yeah.
I even remembered my headphones to bring to the show.
Yes.
Which I'm constantly forgetting, but
Awesome.
it's good to be back. So
Yeah.
and
Glad
especially with the crew. And what a
I know.
good,
What a great way to come back, right?
good rust buster.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt. So what about you, Philip?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Over 31 days is way too long, but hey, it was great. I had a good time doing it.
Yeah, man. No doubt. We'll have to, hopefully we can do these every month. That's the plan. It'll be a lot of fun, man. So, yeah. So thank you guys for coming out, man. This has been a lot of fun to be able to hang out. For me, the straight from the barrel, Blanton's, that was the biggest win of the night for me because I've never had it before.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that once I did have it, that it was going to be something I would really enjoy. So it definitely met my expectations.
I'm happy for you and sorry for you at the same time.
Yeah, because that bottle's not staying here, right? And I'll never get a bottle of it.
Yeah, now your hunt begins.
Yeah, that extra $400 or $500 that's not going to happen, man. So one of these days, though, maybe I'll get lucky, and because they are releasing it now as a U.S. release.
They are.
Yeah.
We received one bottle last year for lottery. One bottle.
God. Well,
Yeah.
so much for that.
And the wax was broken, so I had to send it back.
Seriously?
Swear to God.
Oh, jeez. I would have taken it. I'm just kidding.
You're not writing it off as like damaged goods.
I tried to buy it. I was like, hey, I'll pay for this. And they're like,
Nope.
we got to get credit on that. So,
Man, well, that was the biggest, the most fun of the night for me. Yeah, the 117, just kind of disappointed in that one. Well, not disappointed, I guess, just didn't blow me away. Like I kind
the
of,
value aspect.
yeah,
of it.
the value, yeah. Really surprised by that Southern rye from 13th Colony, for sure. Old Ezra 7, never go wrong with that one, man. So absolutely love that bottle. Matt, thanks for bringing that one. Chad, thanks for bringing the straight from the barrel. Philip, you brought, well, we'll drink that off air. All right. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. We are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Tim Smith Spirits. We do thank Tim Smith Spirits for their sponsorship. We also thank all of our sponsors as well. If you guys want to reach out to us, please do so. You can email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. Obviously, if you get a chance, leave us a review of the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. We're out there on pretty much all of them. And with that said, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.
Whether it's rye, sour mash Tennessee whiskey, or bourbon, Davidson Reserve has something delicious to offer any whiskey lover's palate. Pick up a bottle of one of our award-winning Davidson Reserve whiskeys from your local retailer today. Visit www.davidsonreserve.com for more information. And cheers to drinking local. Founded by J.W. McCulloch in 1885, Green River was known as the whiskey without regrets. But after a gradual decline of the distillery over the years, the brand had all but disappeared. But in 2020, Green River celebrated the revival of Green River Distilling Company at its original home in Owensboro, Kentucky, led by 8th-generation distiller and Kentuckian Jacob Call. And now, after a century of waiting, Green River is proud to announce the return of their flagship Green River Straight Bourbon Whiskey to shelves around the country. We encourage you to find out more about this new bourbon, aged for more than 5 years, at www.greenriverwhiskey.com.